Hey there, what's up internet? My name is Black Light Attack with KBMOD.com, and this is another episode of KBMOD Indie. You know, a long time ago, before the large influx of accessible indie titles on Steam, there was a single guy working on a single game that would shake the very foundations of gaming forever. Okay, maybe not, but the game that he ended up releasing was pretty goddamn good. It may not have done anything radically different, but it just had such charm and style and simplistic gameplay that when I ended up playing it following its re-release on an indie bundle, it quickly worked its way into my top 10 games of all time. Today we're talking about Cave Story Plus. Cave Story was, amazingly, a one-man project from creator Daisuke Pixel Amaya. Did I say that right? Probably not. Sorry, Pixel. Who did everything, and I do mean everything, himself. He did the art, wrote the script and the music, programmed the game, and he did everything. It was originally released in 2004 as a freeware game after Pixel spent 5 years developing it in his free time. It was met with nearly universal praise, at least according to the reception tab on the Wikipedia article, which basically quotes everyone as saying, yeah, it's pretty fucking good. Since its initial freeware release on Windows, Cave Story has seen numerous repackagings and ports. Just the original alone has been ported to Linux, OS X, PSP, Xbox, and even fucking calculators. Eventually, in 2010, American game publisher Nicalis got involved and rebooted the game on WiiWare, featuring updated graphics, new game models, and a remastered soundtrack. A port to DSiWare followed shortly, and finally the game was recreated in full 3D for the Nintendo DS. This game has seen levels of success nearly unheard of for indie games, its prestige coming second only to indie juggernaut Minecraft. Cave Story Plus, the version we'll be focusing on in this video, is the version that's distributed on Steam for $10. It's identical to the WiiWare version, but also features the option to set the game back to its original graphics and music. It also features an extra bonus level. But no matter what platforms you have available to you, you can probably play this game, and you probably should, especially considering the original version is still freaking free. The gameplay has often been compared to classic 2D action-adventure games like Metroid and Castlevania. You explore sprawling, narrow corridors, jump and shoot in 4 directions, equip a plethora of weapons, and progress by revisiting areas after unlocking new items or abilities. The weapon system is satisfying and unique. The main character, Quote, can collect experience crystals from defeated enemies. Grabbing them will grant the weapon he's currently holding some experience, which eventually level the weapon up. Weapons become more powerful with each level and cap out at level 3. Taking damage reduces your weapon's XP and can result in a D level, which lowers the weapon's effectiveness. It's a system that seems complicated trying to explain it, but it's actually fairly intuitive and simple in practice. It's designed so that by switching between weapons, you can use a more powerful weapon to farm up a ton of crystals, and then switch to a weapon that needs leveling before grabbing them all up. It also makes for some great challenges down the road. You may enter a boss fight with a super beefed up gun, but if you slip up and lose some levels, you may have to make the decision between continuing to use your nerfed weapon or falling back to a gun with a higher level that's less suited for the fight. This sort of on-the-fly leveling and de-leveling keeps you on your toes and encourages you to become friendly with Quote's entire arsenal, instead of just relying on one super overpowered endgame fuck you cannon. The game does a great job blending a combination of Metroid-style unlock progression, jumping puzzles, and frantic shooting action. It's called back to a simpler time of NES and SNES titles like Mega Man and Metroid, or PC classics like the old Duke Nukem games. The controls are tight and responsive to say the absolute least, which is necessary for the fast-paced action the game throws at you. The story is fairly basic. Quote wakes up in a cave with no memory of who or where he is, meets with a village full of timid, peaceful creatures, and quickly gets sucked into stopping a mad scientist from taking over the world. It may not be groundbreakingly original or unpredictable, but it carries the game well enough to be forgiven. It's the simple, plucking bass line that nobody notices, but ties the song together in its own subtle way. The characters are all incredibly charming and memorable, and despite the game being about cute, fluffy bunny creatures, the game somehow manages to avoid being too cutesy. This is probably due to the fact that Pixel doesn't pull any punches when writing his character's fate. I won't spoil anything specific here, but let's just say you don't want to get too attached to your new fluffy friends. Despite outward appearances, this isn't a kid's game. The music is, for me, where the game really shines. Every zone has a distinct track that's all at once catchy and brilliant. I prefer the Plus version's remixes, but the original soundtracks composed by Pixel are equally infectious in their own way. I honestly still get the opening theme stuck in my head for days on end. The remix tracks hit that perfect blend of old meets new and makes the entire game that much more enjoyable. The title screen, Sand Zone, Grasslands, the Secret Hell level, so many good tracks. I'm fairly certain it's impossible to actually beat this game without dying at least once because you got distracted jamming out to the background music. Yo, put on that one track, the one that's like, yeah, that's the one. This is usually the point where after building the game up for like 9 straight paragraphs, I throw a wrench into everything and say, lol, JK, you thought this game was going to be perfect? What are you, some kind of doe-eyed 8-year-old princess? Perfect games don't exist. Hope you don't have your heart set on not having your dreams shit on. But that's the thing, I really can't think of any criticism for this game. I guess I could reiterate that the storyline isn't Memento or anything, but it's the worst I can say about it. And it was all made by one guy. One guy just decided, hey, yeah, what should I do for the next 5 years? Oh yeah, I've got it, let's make a goddamn masterpiece. I guess I could get a level designer, maybe someone to write a story, someone to do the music. Steve's pretty good on the keyboard, maybe I could get him to write some chiptunes. Nah, fuck those guys. Steve's a chump. I got this. You know what I did today? I woke up at 2 p.m., slept at work for 2.5 hours, then spent the last hour of my shift finishing the script on Google Docs. I wouldn't quite call that Leonardo da Vinci levels of masterpiece progress. This guy puts us all to shame with his one-man show of old-school gaming bliss. You know what, while I was verbally filleting Pixel, I did actually think of some criticism. There are a few points of the game where you're offered seemingly minor choices, whether or not you want to trade a weapon or something like that. These end up having deceptively large impacts on which game ending you get, with no sort of logic behind any of them. Getting the best ending requires some ridiculous knowledge that frankly I don't know how anybody figured out without a guide. Still though, this just encourages replayability. Play through the first time however you want, then get whatever ending you're going to get. Then in your next playthrough you can follow a guide and shoot for the ending that you want. It's unforgiving and completely devoid of logic, but I actually find this bit pretty endearing. It's a hallmark from an age past when we didn't have the internet to unveil every game's every secret, and game designers filled their games with impossible leaps in logic and absurd difficulty curves because there weren't many other ways to make the games last that long. Back before DLC could turn a 6-hour game into a 20-hour Halloween-themed monstrosity, we had nothing but unforgiving worlds to come back to, boldly venturing into uncharted territory that conquered us in play sessions past. If we're being honest here, there's really no reason to have not played this game. Why have you not played this game yet? The Plus version is great and all, but if you can't scrounge together the $10 for it, you can always just play the original for free. Just about any computer can run it. Freaking half the people watching this can probably run it on their phones. Just freaking play it! Stop watching this video, goddamn, just click away! I'm putting links in the description, go play it now! Oh, wait, before you go, like the video and sub to our channel. There's a good boy, now go play Cave Story.